I get a motion to start the meeting?
Sure, I motion to start the meeting. Anybody second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we will start the meeting at 6:50. Can my pen back? Can my pen?
Oh, yeah.
I need something in my
Sorry.
hands. It's okay. I just can't think. So we will go. I want to recap old business before we go on to asking about new business. Last week we really were kind of just finding our feet. I know Audrey and Ben, were you guys able to get on the shared drive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had added a document, but I assume you had seen that on there, the one from Ohio State.
Yep. Right in front of me.
To me, it was the most useful document that I have found so far, because it kind of answered some of the direct questions that I had about like the different types of agricultural zoning that there are. I didn't realize there were different types. So that was very helpful. And so that's,
examples.
yes.
Some good examples of how it's used in other townships.
Yeah, the examples is what I thought were the most helpful to me to understand, like the difference in having just the map and then having the plan, the comprehensive plan. So so what we had decided, we kind of gave ourselves homework, and it was just to read those 3 documents and come with like questions that we had to move forward, and then action steps, that we needed to take to move forward. So, we did that last week, and really it was just kind of a lot of discussion on how to do things, really. So, anyone want to add to last week's notes? We tell them that. Did you find the video of the meeting and everything?
I did not.
Okay.
I
Tell them about that.
So it's on our website. It's
Okay.
I think it's Scioto TWPzoning.org. As you can see, this is being recorded right now as well, but we have the full recording of the meeting. Unfortunately, the audio of the commenting public is not very loud on that recording. That should be fixed at this meeting. I got some new microphones for that, but if you have any questions about last meeting, you can just go back and watch it. And then we have timestamps as well for any kind of votes or motions that were made. And after this meeting this evening, this meeting will be uploaded, as well as the votes and motions for this evening as well. So I do have a question before we proceed.
Yeah.
Since Joe Jones is not here, do you want me to serve as the alternate for his vote, or do you want Ed Reed? Or does that matter?
Technically, he should have said that who it is.
Okay.
Is that how it works? Like, he should have called and said, will you be my vote? Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if we'll be voting on anything this evening.
I don't think we will.
But we'll cross that bridge if we get there, I guess. But that is something procedural, I guess, that we'll have to address.
Do you want me to talk about some stuff that I uploaded
Sure.
that we have in front of us? So, throughout the last week, I've been looking at different stuff as well, some additional resources, and any documents that we talk about will generally be uploaded on the drive on the website, so you guys can view this as well. But I did find a zoning resolution from another Jackson Township, or not Jackson Township, another township in Ohio. It's Russell Township of, I can't pronounce the name of the county very well. It's like Geiga County? Geauga, thank you. I did some research and saw that it was generally a pretty bare bones zoning resolution. It's 182 pages, and that sounds like a lot, but compared to a lot of our other options, they were over 200 pages. So what I've done is, considering the documents that Casey had last week and considering this existing resolution, I created a draft resolution. I'm not an attorney, and I don't know whether or not this will hold up. And I invite the public to reach out to us if they know an attorney who's willing and able to look through this and explain whether or not it would be sound. But I tried to put together something that maybe we could start with and work off of. With that, a question that we had last meeting was whether or not we could proceed with just one zone, or if we had to, by law, create multiple zones. And as far as I could research through the Ohio Revised Code, which I've also uploaded this onto the drive, it says we may create multiple zones, but we're not required. So for our zoning, we really can create a document that just has one single zone for the entire township. So whenever I created my draft, I sort of went with that concept. And Casey was talking earlier about how our land use plan is sort of what would dictate the authority of our zoning regulations. And within the other half of that document, there's a land use plan that details what the township intends to have. So it details saying that we want, a rural agricultural society. We don't want heavy industrialization, and sort of a reinforcement behind the main rules and regulations of the document that add context that maybe make it legally binding. Again, I don't know. I'm not an attorney. So I think we should all take a look at that, and I encourage everyone in the public as well to take a look at that. Again, it's on the website, and if you have any concerns with what's in that document, please let me know, and I'll take a look at it, make amendments, and change it. But I think this might be a good start if it makes sense. But that's all I have.
Do you think we can have like a working draft of this? How are we gonna go about making edits and collaborating as we start generating this text?
So through the Proton stuff that we have through the email and the drive, there's also an editing software. It's kind of like Google Documents or Word. I could maybe upload it onto there, or if we agree on a different platform that we want to do, like if everyone likes Google more, we could do it on Google or something, but just have a draft that we can all work on online.
So, from what I have learned this week, I think the comprehensive text, there's two parts of a zoning plan. You have the comprehensive plan, which is the text, which I believe is section 1.02 on the purpose here. And then you have the map that actually shows like, hey, this is what we have created as far as districts, and this is going to be agriculture, it's going to be residential, it's going to be mixed use. So the Ohio code says that you don't have to have both. However, if we're looking at this from an approach of this could be challenged legally, I feel like we need to have our comprehensive text laid out very specifically, and that is why I put a post out on Facebook through the group that had asked for feedback from the public either through our Scioto Township zoning.org, or if they wanted to bring it tonight. I don't really care how they submit it, but the question that is important, I think, for us to develop our comprehensive plan is we need to know what is our goal for the future land use of our township. What does that look like to Trudy McDonald? What does that look like to Mark Jones? What does that look like to Ben Druschel? Because what I may want in 50 years may look different than the next person, and we've got to find, that's what the comprehensive plan is what is your long-term land use plan as a township for your land. So if we want to have hours during the night that it's quiet and you can't have loud machinery running, that's where we put it in the comprehensive plan, that we want to preserve quiet hours, dark skies. We want to preserve our water quality, water levels, that we want, that's where we get specific as far as, because when someone challenges us, if we just have one zone, they're going to say, well, this isn't fair. It's one zone, but we don't have any text to provide for that. It strengthens our legal strong foothold if we are explaining why do we have one agriculture zone. Well, because we don't want any of these things, and it's to preserve these things. So to me, we start, step one is to tune up our comprehensive plan. And then step 1A is to employ a lawyer to review our comprehensive plan and make sure it holds water. Once our comprehensive plan is done, I feel like that gives us the direction to make the map. That gives us our direction to, you know, our basis for, is this, we always need to look back and say, does this fit our comprehensive plan, what we're doing? Does this meet the goals? Does this, is this enforceable? I think those are the two questions that we continue to ask ourselves as we develop. Does this meet our comprehensive plan and support it? And is this enforceable?
Well, your comprehensive plan is your mission statement.
Correct. Yes. Yes.
I mean, in, you know, younger terms.
Yes, it is our mission statement. So, you know, some of the things that I wrote down that I, like if I was brainstorming, and I did, I want to preserve agriculture, black skies, quiet nights, natural resources. I want to protect our wildlife and our culture and tradition of hunting and preserve hunting and wildlife habitats. And we want to provide food security.
So what do you do when agriculture per se intrudes on your quiet night till 2:30 in the morning, like a lot of us have worked in the past over the years?
Well, that's very random and a one-off. That's not consistent
Agriculture
24.
is
Oh, and
exempt.
agriculture is exempt from any zoning rule that we put.
Okay.
So, and you know, like,
Just that's. the
well,
question.
but no, and that is, no, listen, that's a good,
It's
Here's-
not all of it is.
here's one that applies because Ben is with Henderson's and over at my house, I can hear the PA system. On occasion, doesn't bother me at all. Those are done at, I don't think I've ever heard it past 11 o'clock, 11:30. I don't know. What time do you guys typically?
Oh, it varies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
That's
think
at
I've,
3 in the morning.
on the PA.
But they shoot off fireworks a couple
You know-
times a year too, and I enjoy
But you
it.
know what?
Yeah.
Then that must not be loud
We don't.
enough. Then it
Somebody
doesn't.
does down
It's
there.
not us.
There's
No, because they almost cost a lot of money last year.
Oh, I was gonna say, we do
what
a
with like
large show
with,
at our house.
with the
so-
horses being skittish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Our horses didn't even mind. They went back to the second build, so we do it every year.
Well, that's
Some of them
lucky.
do, some of them.
Yeah. Well, so I do think that that comprehensive plan and what we want to have in it is important because that's what every judge is going to go back to. Is does what you're trying to put in here support their comprehensive plan? From what I've read in the cases that I've studied.
Well, there's a difference between occasional and permanent.
Correct.
So
Correct.
that has to be in the occasional disturbance.
Not according to attorneys.
What?
You can't do it and say they can do it once, but they can't do it more than once.
No.
Any attorney is gonna tear that apart in a heartbeat. This thing has gotta be black and white. There
Then
can be no gray area whatsoever. Because when there's gray area, that's when attorneys get involved and that's where things go
So
south.
let's be legal and reasonable.
Well, so
These percentages, so.
we would set our quiet hours. So let's say that's 2 o'clock in the morning to 6 a.m. Industry needs to be quiet from 2 in the morning to 6 a.m. You know, so there's a time there that will suit everyone's needs.
I don't know if we even need that to get what we want. I don't think we need quiet hours, even in the zoning regulations. I think if we do it in such a way, I mean, we don't even have to define that.
And that's very
Yeah.
true. I mean, I don't think we have to define it in our comprehensive zoning plan. I just think that has to be what our vision is that there, you know, and maybe that doesn't even make the cut. I'm just brainstorming at what I would like to see in my township.
Well, you
Megan.
can't get it all right the first time anyhow, so this is all gonna have to grow.
Exactly.
I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yes, I agree. I'm sorry, Megan, yes.
Well, no, I mean, I wonder,
based on, experiences here, are you able to put in the mission statement that the businesses that we have now, we would like to maintain their current functionality how it is? And I mean, I wonder if that's okay to say, or if that's that part of the, predatory or whatever we were calling it, whatever we were going down.
Right.
Can we say that we want to maintain the functionality of the businesses that we have? Are they grandfathered in?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
They're already
within the zoning regulations, we're allowed to put a certain section that says, and I've written this in our draft here, non-conforming uses, any lawful use existing at the time of adoption of this resolution may continue as a lawful non-conforming use. We legally have to do that. Because if we institute zoning regulations that affects an existing business or existing property, we can't tell them to conform to that because they were here before the zoning regulations existed. So we have to put that in our regulations. And you know, in the draft we have that. So I mean, we can 1,000% do that. Now, you know, with the noise and stuff like that, I think we could maybe mention it in, you know, the land use plan, not in the regulations itself. In the plan that I drafted up, I put the word excessive. So protect residents from excessive noise, traffic, light pollution, and environmental disruption. So, you know, we can define the term excessive. We have all the flexibility to be able to do that. And if it needs to be specific, I mean, we can do that if we need to, but, or just not have it at all. I don't even think we need that specifically to achieve what we're wanting to do, which is just to stop giant industrialization of our community.
But
Yeah.
that's not all that we're going to catch in this net.
Yeah.
So we've got to make sure, yes, sir.
Well, I think to dovetail on Megan's, you know, she's talking about the businesses like here.
Yeah.
I think you also need to have a statement in there that says we want to encourage the businesses are here for business diversification. We want to encourage home-based businesses. I mean, that's one thing I have heard from the Amish, you know, because they've got furniture shops and things like that, you know, and I think those type of businesses are going to continue to grow in our township.
Well, and those are the type of businesses we want, and we
Yes.
want to promote.
And that's exactly, I think that's exactly what
Yes.
you want stated in your document.
Right.
Is that we want to encourage business diversification and home-based growth.
So if we're basing, if we're writing a comprehensive land use plan, based on what our residents and ourselves see as the long-term land use of our township, we need to talk about what those are. So I think we
have a
all
list
agree.
drafted. I have a list drafted up in the draft actually.
Community vision.
So under the community vision section of the land use plan, that says Scioto Township shall remain a rural, agricultural, residential community centered on, and it's a list, farming, homesteading, outdoor recreation, low density residential living, and small locally owned businesses. So, and then in the second portion with land use goals, it talks about preserving and supporting small locally owned fabrication, repair, and agricultural support, mechanical and tradesman businesses historically associated with rural communities. So I mean, we can put whatever we want in there. There's also another section in the actual resolution itself under intent on the first page. It talks about Scioto Township is intended to remain a low-density agricultural residential community, and then it says the township recognizes, and this is the other list, agriculture, homesteading, forestry, hunting, outdoor recreation, rural home occupations, which would include like home-based businesses, small locally owned businesses, and single-family residential use as the preferred and primary uses of land within the township. So I mean, we can make that list as big as we want to, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, well, I don't want to pick apart specifics right now.
That's okay. We have plenty of time to do that.
Correct. So I appreciate the outline, but I'm going to ask again for feedback from everyone of how you see your land use in Scioto Township. If you are handing this township to your great-great-grandchildren, what do you want it to look like? Do we want it to look like an industrial park? Let's start there. I don't.
No.
But this is where I'm gonna be quiet for a minute, and I need y'all to give out, we're here, we're doing it. What do you see?
I can,
I was waiting for them to,
yeah.
I want my daughter to be able to ride her bicycle up and down the road like I did when I was a kid.
So traffic
Yeah.
density is a concern.
Yeah.
Traffic density is a concern. Now, this is a brainstorming session, so we're not going to, we're gonna write everything down and then we can sort through it. So, traffic density is a concern or a consideration.
Wildlife, because we do have eagles in the area that we've never had before. And I'm sure there's other wildlife out there that's, I know on our property we have the butternut trees. If those are poison, there's only, I think we've got 7 on our property,
Mhm.
and that's very few in the state of Ohio, so.
Mm-hmm.
And
So-
the real disruption of, food chain. I never grew up eating deer. We had beef. We didn't have, my dad always said we didn't have to eat deer.
Right.
Well, now we eat deer.
Right.
And, I want to be able for my husband, his 2 oldest boys and my son to be able to hunt and provide food for the family. And I want them to be able to take it directly out to Annis and not affect her business in a way, because I think whenever people are hunting, they oftentimes will take it to kind of a regional station, and it's Annis for us.
Mhm.
We want to support Annis.
Mm-hmm. So I've got preserving wildlife, and our, vegetation, but that's not like,
I'm gonna say mental health too, because if the noise is bad as they say, people with autism or mental disturbance, that sound can be quite disruptive for them, especially for their families.
I was just thinking, I was sitting here thinking about how selfish I am because everybody else is naming all these things, and I'm thinking, well, I like to come up the highway and look over and see Jeff's place and all those cattle on the hill, and I like to look over at Bailey's and wonder what Laney's doing. And I come on up the highway and I get a glimpse of our farm and our cattle on the hill, and
so you want the agriculture character, aesthetics.
I want to add something. I want to remain in an affordable community. I want to have lower property taxes and lower electricity and water costs. So, I guess that would be resource overuse.
Allocation.
Mm-hmm.
Preservation. Okay. These are all good things. Keep them coming.
Hunting and fishing.
that's been mentioned
Wildlife
multiple times.
preservation.
I'm sorry, what was it, Audrey?
He said he wanted his wildlife to be preserved. My husband and them all do hunting every year,
Yes,
so
we do.
we are
That's a
very
big
big
part.
hunters.
Well, I mean, it brings a lot of business to our township. I'm sure people lease hunting acreage in our township. We host a camp that brings in people from out of state and all over, and they eat and sleep somewhere. I mean, and that's, when I worked at La Rosa's, you'd be amazed at how many people came in for hunting and filled up the hotel.
well, and just look how many people come to Henderson's every weekend. How much revenue
Absolutely.
does that bring to not just our community? I mean, our
Well, Dad
city-
used to sell hay to all the
Yeah.
horsemen that would
I
come
mean,
through.
places to stay, places to eat, gas.
Right.
You try to go to Rowdy's when they have an event, there's
Oh,
cows.
look at the bear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
One thing that sticks with me and something Ben said at the very first meeting was, what has that economic development partnership uptown done for this township?
Nothing.
Ben, that stuck with me,
Absolutely nothing.
And
We are- we're
that is in the front of my brain all the time now, Ben.
they probably didn't even know we were
And so how do we put something
Sure.
in there that we
Sell
wanna encourage participation from our county government?
It's actually the residents, to be honest.
Say that again, Ben?
It's the residents that don't support it. I just got an economic impact study. I haven't read through the whole thing yet,
Yeah.
but we get about, what was the number? I think around 50,000 people come to the arena, and of those 50, about 6,000 are locals to Jackson.
I believe that.
I
Yeah.
believe that
So-
too.
I think that partnership, what they call an economic partnership, I think it needs to be a community partnership. And we need to encourage that with, when you see our elected officials out here. You can't even get the daggone county engineer to come into the township. She told me flat out, I just don't go out there much.
She doesn't even.
Yeah, so I'm just saying those are examples of what we wanna encourage in this plan is we need community, not only awareness, but partnership.
You know, my vision for, the township moving forward is to be able to, maintain the standard of living we've got now, being in the freedom. I don't wanna see the zoning over-regulate everything, and, I've been in them communities, and it's no good. I live out here in the country because I have freedom enough to, not have to worry about if my dog accidentally gets on somebody else's property. When I'm running my dogs, training my dogs. We've got good neighbors around here for the most part, and I've got a good working relationship with them. I train the dogs on the white farm where I rent, and if they, Adam's okay with it. Zach and Ty that are leasing the farm behind me, they're okay with me running my dogs back there. I can run on Carol Landon's property and, Stella Backel's property, because that all touches the white farm. And so when the dogs go over there, they say that's fine, 'cause I like running my dogs. That's the highlight of my life, is getting out there listening to them. I don't care if I ever shoot a rabbit. I like to eat rabbit, but I'm the only one in the house that does, so, if I can just listen to them dogs sing, that's the whole thing. And I can run them day and night and not have to worry about offending somebody or bothering somebody.
Unfortunately, I don't think any one of us on the zoning committee are friends with zoning. I don't think any one of us want to cuddle up to the idea of zoning. We are forced into this position, and
I know,
we need.
but that's why I'm
So,
saying I
yeah.
don't wanna
Well-
overstep and overregulate.
A resident asked me, I know that you guys don't want to overregulate, but how do we continue as the zoning committee changes? How do we continue to stay where we're at and not overregulate? And I didn't have the answer to that at the time, but it is the comprehensive plan.
Right, it's in the comprehensive plan and mission statement, this is what we want
Right.
to do, and it tells exactly what we want.
Right, so you saying like keeping my standard of living?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely very important. I think that was part of what Grant was saying, is maintaining our current standard of living. And I don't want very many regulations, I want it to all come back to that's supported in your comprehensive
I
plan.
raise and train dogs,
Mm-hmm.
registered beagles, and,
Right.
I sell them, but, that's just it. I wanna maintain it, and that way, I've got great grandkids now that are wanting to run dogs with me. You know, and that's pretty cool having your great grandchildren running and interested in it.
Mhm.
And if we don't protect that part of it,
Keeps going to.
I got a kid that's wild about creek fishing, so I'm really worried about the fishing and the fish health and the water in our creeks, and that it stays there and that it doesn't have forever chemicals leaching in
well,
it.
I ain't too worried about the forever chemicals right now. I'm
Yeah.
worried about all the sewage.
Well, and that's
And
the
unfortunately,
problem
that's
too.
already here.
What?
The sewage in the creeks.
Oh,
And the ditches.
oh, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been there, and, you know, that's why, I would not eat anything out of the little side of the river. Not at all. I like to catch it and throw it back, but I wouldn't eat it.
Casey, I think we all want to be stewards of the land, the flora, the fauna, stewards of our, family-owned businesses that are here. We want to, I agree with you in that. I don't care, Ed, where your dogs go. I don't care how loud they are. Ben, I don't care how bright your lights are on your arena. But how do we write it in a way that makes it?
Well, it's a crying shame that you can't get somebody to fly over the 36 square miles of here, take a picture of it, put a timestamp on it, but that's what we want.
Yeah, and be done with it.
And that's what needs to be done, but it won't work that way.
It would never fly as far as trying to prevent anything from changing it, if you don't have rules, unfortunately.
So I think we've got that's great feedback. That's what I wanted. I haven't had time to read this plan.
That's my bad too. I worked on it and got
No,
it
you're
back like
okay.
an hour before the meeting, so that's.
No, you're fine. You're
That's
fine.
why I was
Yeah.
last.
I didn't expect you guys to read this, but I did want to get it up and in view just so we have it for the next one. But
I think one reason why we have the community that we do is because of who is our neighbors. Yeah, no one wants to be at this zoning meeting tonight, no one wants to do this every Tuesday night, let's be honest, we wish we wasn't doing it. But, if we don't do the zoning thing, when this data center comes in, we're gonna lose our neighbors. If we do the zoning
Right.
thing, I don't think we're gonna lose our neighbors, I think they're gonna stick around. But this data center comes in, yeah, a lot of our neighbors will leave. Then our lives will be changed forever.
You're gonna find that depending on what you settle on, you're gonna find that to be a little more pertinent to people that are farther out of the range of what this proposal is of being put in.
But
People
Well-
over on River Ridge, they could care less, they don't have to look at it, they might see it, they might drive by.
but our job is to say you might care less right now,
Exactly.
but if we do not do something,
Exactly.
we are leaving ourselves open to not just the valley being affected. There's a lot of beautiful flat land on Johnson Road over there. I mean, there's beautiful flat land everywhere in this township. Bloomfield Township has already lost 350 acres. Locked up. Done. Nothing you can do about it. It's coming. I didn't want to break these poor people's hearts, but their reality is right at their door. They could zone right now. There's nothing they can do about it.
It's called preventative measures.
So yes, I understand that right now the issue is at my front door. I don't want the issue to be at Trudy's front door or Ed's front door. You know, because once we break the ice and have one, there's a whole lot of other things that come with that. They're going to want to bury their diesel tank somewhere for their generators. They're not going to want to do it right there. Let's go 3 miles up the road.
And build a power plant.
Let's bury them up on Conley Road.
it also
It's all of our problem, and it's all of our job to protect it. you
So
know,
Casey, let's also talk about what we're gonna do for people. Really, why do we wanna do this? Because in the end, this is gonna promote safety. Safety of air, safety of water, so maybe we can, you know, kind of market it in a way that this is something that we are giving you.
Right.
We're working to give you some
Right.
safety and confidence, by
More peace of mind.
protecting, peace of mind, yeah.
It's gonna be an educational challenge, that's
It
the
will be,
thing.
but
We
we
have
can-
got to, literally, we have got to educate the people. And I've been doing that since before I got on this. When we first mentioned zoning, I've explained it to a lot of people. I've changed some minds, some I haven't. Some I've got on the fence, but they just hear the zoning, and most of the people, if they've ever been around the city or, you know, some close suburbs, they automatically, zoning and HOAs are the two things, and those are bad words.
They turn a deaf ear.
And so we are going to have to really work hard at, well, we're gonna have to work hard.
You'll get it done.
Have to work hard, first of all, on the wording. You know, if we don't get our wording down correctly, we're not gonna make any sense to anybody. So we've got to make sure that it's worded correctly, and our education, like I said, is gonna have to be first and foremost. And we're really gonna have to push it.
I would say it's more of a matter of accountability than it is safety. Because, I mean, we're giving everybody the flexibility to do what they want on their property, and we're not going to take that away from them and deprive that of them. That's what our goal is. But our goal is to make sure that something doesn't come in that is just totally beyond reason. And that is beyond reason. You're taking property and lowering the property value and taking all the resources and making it generally unlivable if you put something like that there. And that's just accountability. So we have a lot of opportunity. It's just, again, a matter of getting the verbiage down, like Ed said. But I think in terms of advertisement, again, I've committed to this before. Once we get this done, I'm just going to go house to house to everybody in this township and give them my business card and say, hey, if you need anything, call me, even show up to my house and we'll talk. I don't care.
well, and I'm hoping that we can partner with the group that we have and hope that they will be willing to go out and help with the education piece as well, if you know, they support the product that we have at the end. Just because this is what we have concrete, does anybody have an issue with going through this and just kind of saying what scares us, what we like, what we don't like? Doesn't y'all find that helpful?
I got a question. What's the time frame on getting the zoning? What kind of time frame are we looking at?
Well, our hands are really tied until May, because if we do a special election, that's August. May comes before August, and mathematically we can't do it in November. So I don't think we have much. I mean, I would like it to get it done as soon as possible, responsibly, and then work on the education piece, and then not meet weekly. Maybe like monthly would be nice. But, you know, I mean, I don't want to dilly-dally because we have till May. I would like to get it done, put it to bed, and then spend the rest of the time talking about it with residents until I'm blue in the face and winning over that side of it. So I don't think we have any other option than that. It does, I mean,
No.
There is none.
I'll say this
that's
too,
what
we
my
need to have time to
conclusion
have an
is.
attorney review this, because we need to make sure it's legally sound if we're going to propose it in the first place. I mean, that's
So-
100%
That's the way
the big problem.
Like some of these terms we gotta define.
well, yeah,
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
On the lawyer piece, Joey was the one that was tasked with looking for attorneys, and he is sick this evening. I do know that when I spoke with him on Friday, no one local has any, like Chillicothe and South has any experience, so that was all strikeout. And then the ones that he had contacted in Columbus, we are on the wrong side of it. they represent or are going after the big money investors. So I do, Bill Martin, I spoke with him today and he gave me a couple good options to call and try to get someone lined up. And then we also have assistance from a property owner here in the township is using his contacts to try to get us a name on someone that could help us as well. So we have made some calls. We haven't had the best luck, but just recently we've gotten a few little lifelines that have given us direction. So hopefully we will be able to.
I may possibly have a name for an attorney. I believe he's out of Lancaster.
Perfect. We'll call him. Yeah,
Please.
just get it to me.
Anything.
So we are looking into having, honestly, probably someone, an attorney dictate it once we have the blueprint and this is what we want in it. That just gives us, I mean, that's to me common sense. I mean, if we're challenged, we want to make sure that all of this effort is worth what we're putting into it. So.
How do we plan to get that money? Are we gonna do fundraisers or what?
Well, that's a good question. So I have a meeting with the auditor on Tuesday at 1 o'clock, and anyone on the zoning committee is more than welcome to join me. I want to talk to her. The ORC says that the trustees can give us some money. So I wanted to talk to her about what different revenue streams came in for the trustees and what that would look like. What does interpret the ORC for me? Otherwise, I would assume that we would have to go to the community and put it together. But you know, I don't scoff at that. Like that doesn't worry me. So we'll figure out how to get that together depending on how the meeting comes out with the auditor. She's also the chairman of the planning commission. I've gotten on the planning commission's agenda for their next meeting, and I apologize. I can't remember if it's the second Tuesday or the third Tuesday or which Tuesday it is, but once I confirm the date with her Tuesday, I will let the commission know, because anyone that wants to join me at the planning commission meeting for the county, that would be wonderful. I'm approaching them at this next meeting to just say, hey, this is happening, and since we don't have any agriculture or rural zoning, this is my ask for us to educate ourselves so that we can not have delays when we present you with a plan. The few people that I've spoke to individually, and I believe I said this last week, really didn't have any guidance. They're like, yeah, we've never done agriculture zoning. I own an insurance company. So I mean, and that's, you know, they're members of the community, but they're not subject matter experts in zoning, and I don't know what to expect from the planning commission. So
Look for water conservation grants, maybe.
Well, we were just late on, the Ohio Department of Agriculture had a land use, plan grant. But the deadline was February. So we didn't even know this was on our radar till March, but I was like, daggone it. But yes, the meeting with the auditor is next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. I also will reach out to the Jackson Economic Development this week and see what resources they can provide for us, because they are legally obligated to help us zone our township. It's so ironic. So, that'll be fun. The Jackson County Economic Development Partnership, one of their duties and their mission is to assist townships in zoning.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. That came from the commissioner that is on the board of the Jackson Economic Development, but still claims to know nothing about a data center. So I know it doesn't make sense, but if that's their job to do, they have to have some resources, at least on paper, even if I think everything they tell me is a big pile of malarkey. So I will make those contacts, and I will get you the date on the planning commission. for the county. We do not have a regional planning commission, so the county planning commission is what we will be utilizing.
Well, actually, you do.
We do.
There's OARDC, Regional Development Commission.
OVRDC.
OVRDC, I'm sorry.
OVRDC, Ohio Valley Regional
Development Commission.
Development Commission. Corporation, regional.
Something.
In most stuff,
I
communications
don't
go
know
in
if
and out of Brown
that's
County.
what I'm looking for, but okay.
They have some meetings down here at Pike that research.
Well, at one time, trustees were offered the seat on that,
Yeah, because some of that original funding came through the old A plant money.
but there's none of that come across my desk or mail in the last 2 or 4 years. But I used to be on.
All right, I've been trying to keep these like, we adjourned like at 8 o'clock last time. And I don't want to go any farther than that. I do want to ask you guys, do we want to start going over this together and marking it up, or do we want to take it and mark it up and bring it back next week?
I said bring it back.
Because there's a lot, and I would have a lot of notes and like arrows to my notes and things
Well,
that we
I-
can, and
Yeah.
it's not cutting up your work at all.
No, it's okay.
You're giving
No,
us a
that's not what I'm
blueprint.
saying at all. What I was going to say is, I propose that you guys, like, if you have anything that you want to edit, I can either again put it up on that document, and then you guys can like edit it online, or just text me or send me an email of what edits you want me to make, and I can come back with another draft next week with all the changes.
And this is because I'm 46 and not 26. But before we start marking up the document, I would like to bring it all together and cohesively, because I don't want Ben to edit what he thinks are great ideas and then me come behind it and be like, well, I don't like this or this or this.
Well, I can give you guys your own individual document to edit, and we can look at the changes and have
Why
them
don't we
laid
just bring
out.
the red line versions back with us and
Yeah.
talk about
That
it
works
face to
too.
face?
That works too.
Then there's no confusion.
Yeah.
Mhm. Exactly. I like that idea better myself.
Me too.
I'm just proposing that in the interest of time,
Yes,
but that makes sense.
I'm a pen and paper chick.
That makes sense.
Okay, so, Brady, do you have anything to add to the meeting?
I do not.
Ed, do you have anything to add before we give final?
Not right now.
Audrey? Nope. Mr. Druschel?
No.
Grant?
Nothing else? Wait, actually, one thing. There was a question last meeting, and I've heard a couple of people ask this question of whether we need to pay our zoning inspector, and according to the Ohio Revised Code, that we may pay them, and that is just our discretion to be able to do that. We don't have to do that. So it's not legally required that we pay our zoning inspector. And if we were to create something that basically is very bare bones and won't require much inspection, if at all, that's not going to be a problem. So
You need to look at that we're probably not gonna be able to do it on day one,
Right.
yeah,
but we may able to be able to get there.
I
Yeah.
agree with you. I don't think permanently that's a volunteer position, but I think to get us off the ground, and just to see how this lays out, we'll feel through it.
The zoning inspector, because you brought that up, it just clicked here. I read something, and I'm not sure where I was at now. I've read so stupid much, but
Right, yeah.
something that's sticking in my mind right now about that zoning inspector, that is actually a position that has to be appointed by the township trustees.
yeah.
It has to
You
be.
bring it to us for approval, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Didn't
it-
you guys
it
do
just
that
said
at the
it
first
was-
meeting though?
The way I read it, it said it was appointed by,
Well, that's what I was getting at, that's the process.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then it did say, if I remember reading it right, it did say that it would be a paid, from what I was reading, but I can't remember where I was, like I said, I read this so stupid much.
and,
You're gonna run into, all of you that's reading, just like me reading stuff, we're all gonna run into contradiction of terms to some degree.
Yeah.
I
We just
already-
gotta work through that.
Aaron and I already had a discussion about this because what happened at the last trustees meeting was a posting was put out for this committee, all right? And that committee was selected. The posting was not put out for the zoning inspector. So if it is a paid position, it should be posted, you should have a job description, and it should be advertised.
That'd be the same with the physical officer, correct?
And if you have a fiscal officer, and get it out. And trustees have to approve it. You're right, Ed, that's the way it reads in the higher revised.
Yeah, like I said, I've just read so much, trying to remember where I read it,
Yeah.
what section and all of
Yeah.
that, it's just
Yeah,
been.
we weren't to that point where you're worried about somebody going and driving around and doing an inspection yet, so there's plenty of time for doing that. That's really the proper way it ought to be handled, so you don't have to backtrack and do it again.
I just want to confirm the township trustees did select those two positions at the meeting that they selected the members of the commission, right?
They approved our selection of them. They did not formally write up and approve and vote on.
Okay.
But because of the process and the way it was done, I don't foresee any pushback. It's just getting the formal process
Which we can do that next
together,
meeting.
which, yes, so,
Okay.
so,
That's the least of the worries.
yeah, well,
You
yes.
gotta, it still has to get voted on and passed.
Correct, it does.
Worry about stuff that matters.
So I also am on the agenda for the township trustee meeting, just to talk to them about what comes out of the auditor's meeting about the funding. I will, you
It
know,
doesn't-
we can.
I don't know why you need to deal with them, because it's gotta come out of their general fund. It says it right.
Yes.
But they don't have to.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yes.
they do have to.
It says it right here.
Will you read it, please? Does it say may or
Township physical
shall?
officer should set up a separate zoning fund on her bucks, as is to be noted from the language of ORC 519.05. Township trustees are to appropriate money for zoning purposes. Such money may be appropriated and transferred out of the general fund to the zoning fund. However, the issue is gonna be, is there money in that fund to do it? So if there isn't, which I'm 90% sure there isn't, then we'd have to come up with it. But
Well, I wouldn't say that at all, knowing the finances.
Well, and that's where the auditor
And coming
comes
to the
in.
time when it's time to do that.
Yeah.
I think that's a reasonable request. I mean, you're not gonna get $50,000.
Right. But what
Okay.
would we need $50,000
Well, I just put
for?
a point blank, you're not gonna get that kind of money, but I think we can help you and intend to help you. I mean, if we didn't intend to help you, we wouldn't let you even got this far.
And
I mean, you gotta remember that, and don't paint us all as somebody against your cause, cause now some of that's already been done, and I haven't been a bit appreciative of that either.
no,
And I'm not talking about anybody in this room, but I got blasted the other day about it on Facebook.
well, we do
And they ain't
appreciate,
even been to these meetings, this person has, and I straightened her out right now.
thank you. And we do, and look, he's right. Without our trustees being on board, we wouldn't have this committee. So I do appreciate it. And I got on the agenda as quick as I could to discuss the revenue. And I want to educate myself by going to the auditor to understand what I'm talking about when I do approach the trustees to ask for help. So,
And when you get to that time, you're not gonna get no wishy-washy from me.
and that's what I want.
And whether you like it or not, you're gonna get what comes out of my mouth.
I'm a big girl, Aaron. You tell me what you gotta say, buddy.
I will. I always have, anybody.
And I appreciate that. So as far as communicating with the trustees, we got on the agenda as quick as we could, and we're gonna come with some education on what is there and what we can work with. Thank you, Ben, for finding that piece. I will take it with me to the auditor to make sure that we're talking the same language. And then I think if everyone is in agreement, next week, we come with our best butchering of this hard copy that we have in front of us, and our questions and our feedback
And extra stuff that you might want to add or
Right.
might be legally required.
Right.
Because I am not a lawyer, I don't know.
Ben, is there a copy of what you've got that you just read that out of? Somewhere's here floating around?
What document are you looking at, sir?
I don't know, the one that Terry gave you?
Can you read the front of it
Land
with
use
the
control.
title?
It's the stuff he gave you.
Land
The
use
land use control. Yes, we will get you a copy of
I'm
that.
saying, I haven't seen
About-
it.
Look, just ask Judy, cause Judy's the one that printed this off and gave it to Terry, and then Terry gave it to me.
I've been in and out of the hospital a couple times here through all this process, and I'm
I just got this today.
tailing behind a little bit here, you know?
I haven't
I
seen
just
that.
got this today.
We'll make sure you have it, Aaron. It's not a big deal.
Does everyone have a copy of my draft?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
do, yes. Okay. All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Meeting is adjourned at 7:45. We will be back at 6:30 Tuesday.